Good morning, everyone. Kindly confirm if I am audible. Once I get this confirmation, then we will start the session. Till then, let me sip my cup of tea. Oh, thanks, Goel, Aishwarya Goel. All right. So, how was the class yesterday? And what exactly did you guys gain out of yesterday's class? Okay, Aishwarya, this is your first day. All right, never mind. Anyone else? So the biggest news of the day, if yesterday it was budget, so today it is India-US deal, right? After mother of all deals with EU, now we have deal with US. Can somebody tell me, like, what happened all of a sudden? Like something that was lingering on for so long, so long. What exactly happened yesterday that all of a sudden it was announced by Mr. Trump? Any guess? Any guess? Anyone? Sukhman Bawa, no, it is not about that we stop Chabar Port deal investments. No, it is not. Anyone else? Any other guess? See, yesterday when the budget was, yesterday means day before yesterday when the budget was introduced, it has not yet been fully passed. So when the finance bill was introduced in the parliament by our finance minister, so you know what happened? One, we said that we will invite people to set up data centers in India and we will give them a long tax holiday. We will ask people to invest in creating nuclear plants in India, the private sector. We will also ask for technology, investments in technology for rare earth so that the Chinese monopoly can be checked. So all this so strongly aligns with US interest. US immediately said, okay, deal with us, $500 billion trade, and deal is here for you. So you have to connect the things, right? I hope this makes little sense. All right. So we will start with the first news of the day. It is about Indo-US deal, right? So now as a student of civil services, as an aspirant who is preparing for civil services exam, what all should we keep in mind when we talk about this news, the Indo-US trade deal, right? So I hope you will be making some notes along with the classes, and if you will make basic notes out of these classes, it will be very helpful for you. You will not be depending on any other notes then, right? So let's start with the topic. So basically the news says that India and USA have signed a historic trade deal. Now when we say historic trade deal, some important facts for our prelim exam, some basic but important facts. USA slash tariffs on Indian goods from 50% to 18%. So it's a great reduction in the taxation. In return, India has agreed to reduce tariffs and non-tariff barriers to zero and stop buying Russian oil. Now question is, while we say that we will not buy Russian oil, is it a compromise with our strategic autonomy, is it a compromise with our strategic autonomy or not? Can anybody tell me this? What do you think? Is it a compromise with strategic autonomy? What I believe, it is not a compromise with our strategic autonomy. Now let me give you a different example to make you understand, right? We will go back into history and try to understand that what exactly is the case here. So I will give you an example from USA itself, right? So 1945 World War II ended, right? When World War II ended, the Cold War started, and the Cold War was between USA and erstwhile USSR, present day Russia, and this is still going on to some extent, right? Now that USA was leading the capitalist bloc and USSR, it was leading the communist bloc. So they both were competing, and the official US policy at that time was containment of communism. This communist ideology, Marxist ideology must not spread beyond where it has already have taken roots. USSR, some parts of Eastern Europe, so they wanted to stop it. And then in 1949, China under Mao also became communist, right? China became communist, so USA had all the problems, and one who was already ruling in China, it was Chiang, the nationalist leader Chiang. He was then removed by Mao. Chiang immediately went to Taiwan, right? Now what America said in 1949, America said China is no country, it is Taiwan. Taiwan is the main country, right? Then in 1970s, early 70s, China started coming towards USA. In the Cold War, there was a thaw, and during that time, America somehow won over China. Now America said Taiwan is part of China, it is one China policy. America recognized Taiwan as part of China. This was America's decision against USSR. By 1990s, USSR disintegrated. By 2000s, China started rising as a competitor to US, and USA said Taiwan is an independent country. We do not recognize Taiwan as part of China. So as and when your national interest guides you, you decide your own options, you decide your own priorities, and that exactly is what strategic autonomy is. If till yesterday we were having more benefits from Russia by getting cheap oil, now if we get same oil from other players at same price, we can stop trading with Russia for oil. America is saying don't buy oil from Russia. We said okay. Nobody asked us not to buy defense equipment from Russia. We can continue doing trade with Russia. And moreover, did we say anywhere that we will stop buying oil? We said okay, we will not trade with Russia. As a government we will not. How about the private players, Reliance and others? So there are so many options, there are so many ifs and buts that India can continue playing with both the powers or with both the players of the game without alienating or without annoying anyone. Now that is exactly what strategic autonomy is. Is this clear? Does this make complete sense for everyone? Those who have just started their preparation, all these examples. Ishan, thank you. Sukhman, thank you. All right. So now we will have a little bit of backward linkage. What exactly is going on here? So let's understand first what is reciprocal tariff. What exactly is the concept of reciprocal tariffs? So example is, let's say if country A, in this case can be America or it can be any other country, if country A raises taxes on country B's good. So for example, if America is raising on Bharat, India, right? So country B does the same. We will also increase the taxes on their products. But this deal ends that cycle. Now there will be no more increase in the taxes among between these two players, A America, B Bharat, right? Also study non-tariff barriers like strict quality standards or sanitary checks that stop imports without using taxes. For example, if they say that in your country the environment is not taken care of, child labor is like children are abused and they are made to work. So on other grounds, if they impose some restrictions on goods, so there are tariff and non-tariff barriers, and with this deal we have somehow resolved the problem to a large extent. Let's add some value to this. Now you know what has happened with this deal? It moves India, or it puts India in a favored bracket compared to China. China faces 37+% tariffs. So India is now in a favored bracket, and this is a classic example of trade diversion benefiting India. At the cost of China, now they are helping us, or they are trying to do more trade with India. They means the Americans, right? That's beautifully put. Anmoldeep Singh, 1844, very beautifully put. Strategic multi-alignments are necessary in an era of global disruptions to prevent supply side volatility with regional autonomy and domestic sovereignty. That's so very beautifully put. I'm really happy the way you have expressed this. Anmol, are you a student of political science? See, I will try to keep these classes very interactive so that you do not feel that I am PCS main student, sir. Okay, Anmol, you are our own student. I'm sorry, I was not aware of this. All right, this is very beautifully put. So moving forward, now while we move forward, there are few more things that we need to remember here. Just a moment. I'm a little bad with technology. So okay, manufacturing and PMI. This is another important thing for economics today. So what is the current issue here? India's manufacturing PMI, Purchasing Managers Index, it rose to 55.4 in January 2026, right? What is important for prelim here? PMI is a survey based indicator. Any figure that is above 50, it denotes expansion. So obviously if it is below, then there will be contraction. But what important we all need to remember for pre, it is released by private agencies like HSBC, S&P Global. This is not a government release by any official agency or government agency, right? PMI is not by any government or state agency. Now next will be something related to science and technology. General relativity survives its hardest test yet. Now this is again important for pre, right? So let's try to understand what exactly is the news here. So gravitational waves and general relativity as given by Einstein, we all know. So scientists confirm that Einstein's general theory of relativity How they confirmed it? Using a signal named GW250114 detected in January 2025. You know what is the key fact for pre here? This signal came from the merger of two black holes. Two black holes. It proved the no-hair theorem. Black holes have only three properties. What are these three properties of black holes? Mass, spin, charge. They have no other features or hair. These three properties, mass, spin, charge. Even Hawkins gave area theorem. The surface area of black hole never decreases. Right? These are important facts for pre. Now there is another fact or aspect attached to it. It is LIGO, laser interferometer gravitational wave observatory. What it detects? Detects these waves, and India is building its own LIGO in Hingoli, Maharashtra. Can you locate this place on map? Hingoli in Maharashtra. Ramakant Yadav. I will definitely try, my dear friend, to take these classes regularly. ठीक है? LIGO is important for pre. Remember this. Then no hair and area. No hair and area theorems are important. Moving forward, space technology. Something that is in news. ISRO is probing the failure of PSLV C62 and targeting a fresh launch in June. What is important for pre here? Let's understand the difference between PSLV, workhorse, 4 stages, solid liquid fuel, and GSLV, 3 stages, uses cryogenic engine. Failures usually happen in the separation stages. These are some of the very basic facts for your pre. For mains, we will go into deeper analysis, right? Now we come to environment and ecology. There is a news, wetlands as a national public good. Now what is more important here for our pre? World Wetland Day was observed on 2nd February. A very basic fact, World Wetland Day, it is on 2nd February. Important fact for prelim. What is the theme for 2026? Theme is wetlands and traditional knowledge. Wetlands and traditional knowledge. And you know, India has 85 plus Ramsar sites. The number keep changing, updating. So nobody will ask you the exact number because it fluctuates. But you need to know that for your mains answer writing that we have more than 85 sites, right? Then there are some static concepts which are mentioned here and there in this article. So we need to remember them. Ramsar Convention was signed in 1971. And you know what it is? It is an intergovernmental treaty for conservation of wetlands. So Ramsar Convention 1971 is the intergovernmental treaty for conservation of wetlands. Now remember, it is not legally binding. It is not legally binding, but facilitates cooperation. You need to know the definitions here. For example, mangroves, salt tolerant, peatlands, carbon sinks. Now these are the important things that we need to remember from articles like this for our prelim. Match the following, true or false. These are the very basic things, right? Any doubt up to this point? Any doubt up to this point, friends? Yuvraj. Okay, this time clashes with your GS class. All right, I understand that. Let me work on it. I will try to change the time. I am to even ready if students want to come offline. I can take these classes offline as well. That same offline class can go online, right? I am ready for anything and everything. If I am putting in efforts, that let's make the best use of them. All right, then there is another news about mountain gorillas. Now what is this news? Renowned vet Dr. Gladys, now the name of the doctor is not very important, spoke on saving mountain gorillas in Uganda. So the concern is that there are mountain gorillas who are under some threat in Uganda. So let's try understand what can be asked. Yuvraj, we will plan it, right? So mountain gorillas are found only in the Virunga Mountains bordering Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda and Uganda, and Bivindi Impenetrable National Park, Uganda. They are endangered. Now in remember, gorillas, mountain gorillas found in these places, Virunga Mountains bordering Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Uganda, Bivindi Impenetrable National Park, Uganda, and they are endangered. So let me tell you something. If you want to take the best benefit from these classes, tomorrow onwards, keep your atlas with you, keep a map with you, and then whenever we discuss something, mark those places immediately, looking at the map from the atlas, mark those places, or if you want, I can bring the maps for you. But then I want not just to spoon feed for everything. I want you to make little extra effort, right? That little extra effort will result in your selection, your result, positive result, right? How many of you would have covered this news with all this information? Can anyone tell me? Or do you believe that it might have skipped your eye today in the newspaper, mountain gorilla news? Moving on to the next one, polity and governance now, right? This is something that we like more because it is easily understandable for everyone. So here we are talking about the Finance Commission. Which Finance Commission is there at the present? It is 16th Finance Commission, whose report has been tabled. For prelims, what we need to know? Yes, Finance Commission is a constitutional body under Article 280. Right? Article 280. It decides how tax money is shared between the center and the states. That means it is one of the important features of federalism. Right? Center and state is vertical devolution. Vertical. And among states, it is horizontal devolution. So it decides that how much money center will give to states and how much money will be distributed among the states and the criteria on which the states will get their share, right? Both vertical and horizontal. There is a crucial change which is very important for your pre this year, very important. 16th Finance Commission increased the weightage of contribution to GDP, that means the efficiency of the state, while reducing demographic performance, population control. Not just by controlling the population, but by upskilling people, contributing more towards the national GDP, you will get better share. We don't want you to stop population. Population is a challenge. No denying the fact. But we do not want to be trapped in such a situation where now people in Europe, people in Japan, to some extent even in China, are now fearing that they might be having a crunch of population in the coming future. We don't want that. What we want is that even if there is population, the population must be skilled, the population must be contributing to the development of the country. So here is the change. It has increased the weightage of contribution to GDP while reducing demographic performance. This impacts the southern states like Tamil Nadu and Kerala, differently. So even if the population is a criteria, now Kerala is bringing more growth to the GDP, more contribution. That is why the share of Tamil Nadu will decline. Is it clear? Make sense to everyone? Okay, now before we move further, I would like you to be very honest. Tell me, one, are you able to understand the concepts properly? This is one. Number two, is it making some value addition to the way you wanted to prepare? Is it taking you somewhere there? All right, moving next. This is the news from which I have given you the notes. Right now, we will go to GS paper 1 for mains. For prelims, the facts that we needed, we have taken them. Now we will come to mains GS paper 1, and today we have something related to society, regionalism and social justice. Regionalism and social justice. Now here we are, caste and higher education. You must have come across the UGC regulations, the dispute or the noise that was there. So we are trying to understand what exactly is the case here. So the controversy of over UGC regulations regarding caste discrimination, it highlights the friction between meritocracy and social justice. Now these two are the key words in today's newspaper for society: meritocracy and social justice. I hope you understand this, all of you. Just a moment, I have a very important call. I'm really sorry. So I hope you understand the difference between these two terms, meritocracy and social justice. How many of you are comfortable with these two very basic terms otherwise? Are you all clear with these terms, or you want any sort of elaboration here? Friction between meritocracy and social justice. Sukhman says clear. Others? Can you guys be little quick giving this feedback so that we can move continuously? Gitanjali, you said no, you want me to explain these terms? Gitanjali, do you want me to explain the terms? Meritocracy means decisions on merit basis. Those who deserve, those who perform, right? Merit. You are a meritorious student. You have scored the maximum marks. You should be selected. Social justice. The poor, the vulnerable, those who are underprivileged. Shall we give them some special concessions? The entire idea of reservation. Like they are underprivileged. They have been discriminated against. So we need to give them some special provisions. So that special provisions comes to reservation, some type of protection. So if we talk about meritocracy, then it is like those who perform the best, they are selected. But when we talk about social justice, how about those who are vulnerable, who are underprivileged, to do some social justice for them so that they can be given a level play field. It is ensuring equality, right? So social justice is for equality. Is it clear, Gitanjali? All right. So let's analyze this. When institutions are accused of reverse discrimination. Now, what is reverse discrimination? Reverse discrimination is when you do discrimination. Let's take an example. You treat a particular caste in a discriminatory manner, that you are untouchable or something like this. That's wrong. You cannot do it. We all are equal. But when the system, the political system, the administrative system, or anyways, when the system gives special provisions to the underprivileged, when there is something like quota, when there is something like reservation, so for the general category it is reverse discrimination. You are denying them those seats. This is reverse discrimination. Right, Sukhman, that's right, right? So reverse discrimination is against those who are denied the status of equality, or exclusionary definitions of caste, that you are not part of this system, so you will, or this caste, so you will not get the benefits, right? So there are accusations against the institutions for reverse discrimination or exclusionary definition of caste, which triggers social unrest. There will be some kind of unrest. People will agitate that why quota is given to these people, why merit is not taken care of, and if the government shifts the stance, then the underprivileged, the vulnerable groups, they will agitate that where there is equality for us. UPSC asks about institutional discrimination. You must argue that, now the term here is inclusive policies. Inclusive policies like equal opportunity cells are constitutional mandates, where under Article 15 and 16 they are not just welfare. So you give a constitutional basis to your argument by incorporating things like inclusive policies are not just welfare thing, they are constitutional mandates under Article 15 and 16. Now, can you interlink this? Is it possible for you to interlink it easily now? Are you guys comfortable? Then we have tribal rights and protests. They are in Maharashtra, there are tribal protests going on. So the tribals marches in Maharashtra demand the implementation of Forest Rights Act 2006. Forest Rights Act 2006. Now, what is the core issue here? What the tribals are asking for, right? Kantara movie. The tribals want land titles in their individual names, not just in the name of villages. They want land in their own names to access bank loans and schemes. You know what exactly is the problem? This is a conflict between customary rights and modern bureaucratic documentation. Unless a person has land in his own name, he cannot ask for loans. But the customary rights are village as a group owns the land. So there is a clear cut conflict. So that is why tribals are fighting, or they are protesting, that the Forest Rights Act 2006 must be implemented and land must be transferred, or the titles must be in their individual names. This is the entire gist of what this is going on, right? Next we come to geography, urbanization and resources. Again, very important for GS paper 1, urban floods and drainage. You know what is going on? Delhi is seeking World Bank funds for a master drainage plan. World Bank fund for drainage plan. Delhi is seeking the funds here. This is a classic case of urban planning failure. Urban planning failure. How? Old drainage map do not match current concrete realities. The solution isn't just bigger drains, but we need blue-green infrastructure. What is blue-green infrastructure? Integrating water bodies and parks. Integrating water bodies and parks to absorb excess water. This is sponge city concept. Sponge city concept is something that is the key word for you here, and the second keyword is blue-green infrastructure. How many of you have already read about these two terms, blue-green infrastructure and sponge city concept? How many of you have already covered these things? Can someone be quick enough to tell me? सिंपल यार, बहुत सिंपल कॉन्सेप्ट है. कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है कि हमें करना है सिर्फ ड्रेन्स बना बना के, ड्रेन्स कितनी भी बड़ी कर दें, व्हाटसोएवर वी डू फॉर ओनली ड्रेनेज, द इंक्रीज इन पॉपुलेशन, द गीतांजलि बोल रही है आज पहली बार पढ़ा, दैट्स ओके गीतांजलि, वी विल लर्न एवरी डे वी विल लर्न समथिंग न्यू, राइट. तो करना क्या है, ड्रेन्स नहीं बनानी है, हमें वाटर बॉडीज को और पार्क्स को सिंक्रोनाइज करना है, उनके बीच में लिंक करना है. पार्क्स हैं ग्रीन, वाटर बॉडीज हैं ब्लू, तो हमें ब्लू ग्रीन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बना देना है. उससे क्या होगा, उससे होगा इंटीग्रेशन वाटर बॉडीज और पार्क का, जिससे क्या होगा, जो अब्सॉर्ब कर जाएंगे एक्सेस वाटर को, पानी आएगा, इंस्टेड ऑफ गोइंग इनटू ड्रेन्स एंड ब्लॉकेज ऑफ ड्रेन्स, वो सीधा वाटर बॉडीज में चला जाएगा, राइट. और जैसे ही गया, ये बन गया स्पॉन्ज सिटी कॉन्सेप्ट. सुखमन बेटा, तुम्हारे लिए सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी इसलिए भी तो है ना, क्योंकि तुम्हें तो तैयारी करते हो अब 2 साल से ज्यादा हो गए, और कुछ लोग वो हैं जो आज पहली बार क्लास लगा रहे हैं, तो हमें तो सबका ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा, है ना बेटा. तुम तो अब वेटरन प्लेयर होगी ना. अच्छा, अगली चीज आती है क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स, राइट. क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स, हमारे जो एक्सटर्नल अफेयर मिनिस्टर हैं एच जयशंकर सर, वो आजकल यूएसए में हैं, जहां पर क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स की एक मीट चल रही है. तो ही इज देयर, राइट. इसका ना ज्योग्राफी से लिंक करते हैं. सबसे पहले लेट्स कनेक्ट इट टू ज्योग्राफी. सो मैप द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ लिथियम, कोबाल्ट एंड रेयर अर्थ एलिमेंट्स. कहां कहां मिलते हैं. मूविंग सप्लाई चेन्स फ्रॉम चाइना, चाइना प्लस वन स्ट्रैटेजी is reshaping economic geography. China plus one strategy. सिचुएशन ये है दैट जो रेयर अर्थ हैं अवेलेबल तो कई जगह पे है, इंडिया भी टॉप 5 में आ जाता है व्हेन इट कम्स टू अवेलेबिलिटी, बट उनकी प्रोसेसिंग टू मेक देम रेडी टू यूज, वो चाइना मोनोपोलाइज करता है, राइट. क्योंकि चाइना इसको मोनोपोलाइज करता है, तो हमारी डिपेंडेंस सारी की सारी चाइना पे हो जाती है. इससे क्या होगा कि अगर हम चाइना प्लस वन स्ट्रैटेजी अडॉप्ट करते हैं कि एक ऑल्टरनेटिव भी हमारे पास प्लेयर होना चाहिए, इफ वी हैव एन ऑल्टरनेटिव प्लेयर और ऑल्टरनेटिव सप्लायर, तो हमारी चाइना पे डिपेंडेंस खत्म हो जाती है. अदरवाइज चाइना कैन चोक, राइट. और फ्यूचर मोबाइल बैटरीज, लिथियम, राइट, ईवीज, रेयर अर्थ, हर चीज के लिए वी नीड दीज मिनरल्स, रेयर अर्थ मिनरल्स. सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू डेवलप वन China plus one strategy, and this is reshaping the economic geography. चाहे वो इंडिया हो, वो पाकिस्तान हो, वो मिडल ईस्ट हो, जहां जहां पर भी रिसोर्सेज होंगे, अमेरिका या ब्रिक नेशंस, ये सब ट्राई करेंगे कि हम सब एरियाज को अच्छे से यूज कर सके. ओके ऐश्वर्या, ठीक है. गगन, आई विल ट्राई टू टेक एवरी डे यार, डोंट वरी. नेक्स्ट आ जाता है हमारे पास अब पेपर 2 पॉलिटी से रिलेटेड, इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन से. तो यहां पर एक बार फिर से फाइनेंस कमीशन की बात आती है. नाउ हियर वी डायरेक्टली कनेक्ट फाइनेंस कमीशन विद फेडरल मॉडल ऑफ इंडिया, राइट. सो इशू क्या है कि सदर्न स्टेट्स लाइक केरला, कर्नाटका, तमिलनाडु, दे फील punished for controlling their population because previous formulas gave more money to populous states, right. अब उन्हें लग रहा है यार कि हमने साउथ में पॉपुलेशन बेटर कंट्रोल कर दी थी, बट अब तो फॉर्मूला चेंज हो गया। 16th फाइनेंस कमीशन ने एक बैलेंसिंग एक्ट कर दिया, वो जो मैंने पहले बताया था सुबह, थोड़ी देर पहले, बाय इंट्रोड्यूसिंग कंट्रीब्यूशन टू जीडीपी एज द क्राइटेरियन। द फाइनेंस कमीशन ट्राइज टू रिवॉर्ड एफिशिएंट स्टेट्स जो ज्यादा जीडीपी में कंट्रीब्यूट करते हैं। However, the center's heavy reliance on cesses and surcharges, which are not shared with the states, remains a major friction point in fiscal federalism. Fiscal federalism. Federalism is a political term, but when it comes to sharing the revenues, the taxes, then it becomes fiscal federalism. And center imposes many types of cesses or surcharges which are not shared with the states. So this remain a major friction point. Now what kind of question UPSC can frame? Discuss how the 16th Finance Commission attempts to balance equity, helping poor states with efficiency, rewarding performing states. ये हो गया मेंस के लिए एक क्वेश्चन. You can write an answer, practice writing an answer, and gradually you will see a tremendous improvement. Like you will start becoming more and more knowledgeable as well as confident, right? So if you write an answer to this, you can then put it in the comment section. I will evaluate and pin the best answer, right? I will pin the best answer. Next, international relations, India, US, China triangle, right? There is a shift. The Indo-US deal, where the tariffs are now lowered and Russian oil has been stopped. It is a signal that there is a massive strategy realignment. Now what is this realignment? India is prioritizing economic integration with West over its traditional non-aligned stance on energy that we are doing with Russia. This is strategic autonomy in action, making choices based on national interest, trade surplus, technology transfer rather than ideology. So now India is better exercising its strategic autonomy. What is the China factor here? US tariffs on China remain high. So the Indo-US deal, this gives Indian exports like textiles, gem, auto components a competitive edge over Chinese goods in the US markets. So India will get more opportunities to trade with US markets and earn more as compared to China. Now there is another question in news, topic in news. It is governor versus state government, and the issue is in news for quite some time. Tamil Nadu's governor has formed a search committee for vice chancellors without state government's concurrence. The governor, who is constitutionally bound to go by the advice of the Council of Ministers headed by the Chief Minister of the state, is independently forming a search committee for vice chancellor. The constitutional angle: governor is the chancellor of state university by statute. There is a law for this, right? Not by the constitution. Governor by default is a chancellor of state universities by a statute. It's a law. It is not written in constitution. The Supreme Court has repeatedly ruled that governors must act on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers, even in statutory roles, to prevent parallel power centers. So the constitution says that governor is to act on the advice of Council of Ministers. This is what the constitution says. Now there are some rules, and the rule says that governor is the chancellor of the state university. But in this case, this is not above the constitution. This is what the Supreme Court mandates, and thus there is a controversy in Tamil Nadu where governor is trying to take up more powers. Right? Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear? Next is economy, environment, science and technology, and security dimension. So here we are, economy, employment versus capital expenditure or capex, right? Now there is a paradox, there is some kind of confusion. Budget pushes massive capex, building roads, bridges, but employment isn't growing as fast. Even if we are increasing the capital expenditure, the government is spending more to build roads and bridges, but the employment, it remains a matter of concern. It is not growing as fast as it should have. So what exactly we need to understand here? We are witnessing a capital intensive growth using machines and money rather than labor intensive growth using people. So the terms for the day are capital intensive growth versus labor intensive growth. These are the terms to be in mind from today's paper. And if it is capital intensive growth using machines rather than labor, it leads to jobless growth. Obviously, it will be growth but jobless. The structural shift is worrying. We are worrying about labor is moving back to agriculture. That means disguised unemployment instead of manufacturing. So for people to work, they are going back to agriculture instead of coming to industries or service sector. Now that's a great matter of concern. This way we may continue to grow, but there will be joblessness. This is a great concern, right? Moreover, with the coming of AI, this is becoming more a concern. Everything will be automated. Then it will be growth. Things will grow, but it will lead to disguised unemployment as well. Is it clear, everyone? Any doubts so far? All right. So what is the solution to get out of this trap? Solution is focus on micro, small, medium enterprises, MSMEs, which are labor intensive. And thus you understand why government keep on pushing for MSMEs, more grants, more funds, and more concessions, rebates, tax holidays and everything, rather than just mega infrastructure projects. So government has to create a very delicate balance between picking up MSME sector along with the mega infrastructure projects, so that labor intensive and capital intensive growth continues, and thus the growth becomes growth with jobs, not jobless growth. Any doubt? Any doubt so far, anyone? Great. Aishwarya Goyal said, no sir. All right. So next topic is environment, wetlands as national assets. So here we are. The concept is wetlands are not just the tourist spots. They are the kidneys of the landscape. Wetlands are kidneys of the landscape. They filter the water and sponges, preventing floods. So this is so important. Wetlands are the kidneys of the landscape. They filter the water and sponges, preventing floods. So we need to protect them. But the problem is we treat wetlands as wastelands. We treat them as wastelands, and thus to be filled with real estate. We allow construction in the wetlands. The Wetland Conservation and Management Rules 2017 exist but lack implementation. So there is a gap. There are rules that wetland must be preserved, but unfortunately the rules are bypassed, and thus there is lot of construction going on in these wetlands, which are the kidneys of the landscape, and this results in water pollution as well as it leads to flooding situations. So we need to be very careful. What is the way forward for this? Shift from beautification, building parks around lakes, to ecological restoration, restoring water flow and catchment areas. This is very important. We have to shift from beautification, building parks around lakes, to ecological restoration, restoring water flow and catchment areas. No insane construction in wetlands. That is very important. Now next is internal security, cyber crime and encryption. Here we are, WhatsApp and privacy or privacy. US has in a lawsuit claims that Meta is Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, can read WhatsApp messages despite end-to-end encryption. When they tell the customer that the messages are end-to-end encrypted, then how can they themselves have the access to the private messages of anyone? Security implications. If this is true, this compromises the privacy right of the user, and right to privacy according to Puttaswamy judgment is part of right to life. However, for law enforcement agencies like CBI, NIA and others, this argues against the platform's claim that they cannot trace the origin of fake news or terror messages. That means they are lying. It challenges the Information Technology Rule 2021, which demand traceability. On one hand, they say it is end-to-end encrypted. We cannot find out from where the message originated, who is the first sender or things like that. While on the other hand, now we are coming to know that they had all the access. So it is compromise with the privacy as well as with the security. So it is a two-way damage to national security. Now we will be talking about paper 4, ethics. This will be very helpful to you. Ethics in international relations. The case study. India stopping Russian oil imports to secure a US trade deal. Is it ethical or not ethical? Ethical debate. National interest. India's national interest versus loyalty. Being loyal to Russia. Is it ethical to abandon a long-term partner Russia for economic gains? Is it ethical? UPSC student, what UPSC want you to write here? In international relations, realism, what you need for your national security dictates that there are no permanent friends, only permanent interests. So when we have our interest aligned, we can change our priorities. Ethical foreign policy involves securing the welfare of one's own citizens, poverty reduction through trade first. We are not enemies to anyone, but at the same time, what is strategic autonomy? It is freedom to choose your friends, your partners, right? This is very important. Then integrity in governance, another topic, the case study. The special intensive revision of voters' roll in West Bengal and Gujarat, where voters claimed deletion forms were filed without their consent, that they were not even consulted, and the forms to delete their names, they were filed. What is ethical value here? The ethical value is probity in governance. The election commission has to ensure that there is procedural fairness. Deleting a voter's name without due process, following all the procedures, is a violation of their political rights and dignity. And you know, trust in institution is fragile. Transparency is the only glue. So you have to remain transparent in all the processes. So this is for paper 4. Coming to an end, environment ethics, case study. Now, killing of man-eater tigers or vermin wild boars. Now, is it ethical or not? The debate is anthropocentrism, human-centered, versus ecocentrism, nature-centered. Do humans have the right to kill animals because they encroach on our land, or did we encroach on their land? Did we clear the forest and enter into their area, or are they coming to our areas? What is the solution? Coexistence strategies. like gorilla conservation model in Uganda, where locals benefit from wildlife tourism and thus protect it rather than conflict. With this, we come to the end of today's session, and I hope you guys gained something out of it and you enjoyed this session. Yesterday you gave me good comments, so I am here. Let's continue this reciprocity. I keep taking lectures, you keep giving proper feedback. Your feedback will encourage me and my team to work harder. You will help us to help you better. If it continues with your support, the more the feedback, the more the comments, the more the engagement, the more the students come watch live, what we will do? We will start adding MCQs to daily practice. We will start answer writing as well. So we will try to make it a very holistic 1.5 hour of daily newspaper analysis, whereafter you will be empowered enough to understand the things at your own. You will not be depending on monthly magazines or other things which are so bulky. It will be crystal clear, pinpointed with precision as it is required for your exam, right? So remember, you must tell your friends about these classes and encourage people to watch it live and interact so that all their doubts can be cleared in the live class itself. Thank you everyone. God bless you. See you tomorrow then. Bye bye. But tomorrow means the more the engagement, the more the comments, the more the feedback, the more enthused to come for the class. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.